You're live.
There we go. Okay, so it's 7 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order for Thursday, February 17th. Does anyone, I'm going to take attendance first. Councillor Brooker, are you with us? Meeting to order for Thursday, February. Councillor Castelline?
Yes, here.
Councillor Cross?
Here.
And Councillor Shipman?
Yes.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is written disclosure of pecuniary conflict of interest. Councillor Cross, do you have any written disclosure of pecuniary conflict of interest?
No, I don't.
Councillor Brooker?
I think we lost her.
Oh. Okay, we'll give her a few minutes to get back. She said she was having difficulties earlier. Okay. Can you hear us, Councillor Brooker?
You're on mute.
Are you
I can
using
hear-
your phone or? There you go.
I have you on my phone as well, but it keeps saying my internet's unstable, so I apologize.
Okay. So do you have any written disclosure of pecuniary conflict of interest? No? Okay. I can't remember who I asked last. Councillor Castelline?
No, I don't.
Councillor Shipman?
No.
And I am not sure if I asked you, Councillor Cross.
I said no.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is item number 3, and it's petitions and delegations. We have none this evening. After that, we have number 4, reports from municipal officers, and we have none tonight either. After that, we have reports on committees, of which we have none. Then after that, number 6, we have action letters. So under action letters A we have to adopt the minutes of Tuesday, February 8th, 2022 meeting. So I'm going to need a mover and a seconder for that. So Councillor Brooker, can you move that one? Yes. Councillor Castelline, can you second that one?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. So we have this resolution in front of us, moved by Councillor Brooker, seconded by Councillor Castelline, that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held on Tuesday, February the 8th, 2022 be hereby adopted and signed as circulated. Any discussion, Councillor Brooker? No? Councillor Castelline?
No discussion.
Councillor Cross?
No discussion.
And Councillor Shipham?
No discussion.
Okay, so I'm going to ask for a vote on this resolution. I need to know if you vote to accept the minutes of the regular meeting on February the 8th, 2022. Councillor Brooker, yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. Councillor Castelline?
Yes.
Councillor Cross?
Yes.
And Councillor Shipham?
Yes.
Okay, so this resolution is carried. Thank you very much.
Your panel,
next-
your vote.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I vote yes. So our next item on the agenda is item B, and it's bylaw number 2022-010, and it's the use of herbicides and pesticides on municipal property bylaw. Okay. So this is a third reading, and I need a mover and a seconder for this. Councillor Cross, can you move this one, please?
Yes, I can.
And Counselor Shipman, can you second it?
Yes.
So we have the third reading of this bylaw, moved by Counselor Cross, seconded by Counselor Shipman. And it's a bylaw to provide for the use of herbicides and pesticides on municipal property, as reported by the Committee of the Whole, to be read a third time, passing number 2022-010, and that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and the clerk, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and be engrossed in the bylaw book. Any discussion on this, Councillor Brooker? I guess we lost. Oh. Any discussion, Councillor Brooker?
No discussion.
Okay. Councillor,
No discussion on my side, no thanks.
Councillor Cross,
No discussion.
Councillor Shipham,
No discussion.
right? So I'm going to call this third reading to a vote. Got some feedback, right? Cindy?
Councillor Brooker, could you mute the volume on your computer?
Okay, I can hear you still. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just going to be on my phone tonight. Apologies.
Okay, that works.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to call a vote on this one, okay? So Councillor Brooker, do you vote yes or no to accept the third reading?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Councillor Castelline, do you vote yes or no? You're on mute, Councillor Castelline.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Councillor Cross
Yes.
and Councillor Shipman.
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. So this bylaw is carried. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is item C, and it's bylaw 2022-011. It's a budget policy bylaw. Okay, so where are we on the second reading or the first?
The first reading was on February 8th.
Okay, all right. So we're at the second reading now. So I'll need a mover and a seconder for the second reading of this bylaw, please. So Councillor Shipman, can you move this one?
Yes, I can.
And Councillor Castelline, can you second it, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so second reading of this bylaw, which is a bylaw to adopt a policy regarding the passing of the annual budget for the municipality of Calvin. Any discussion on this, Councillor Brooker?
No discussion.
Councillor Castelline?
No, I see that the modification has been made to the year following an election year, that it is up to March 31 before the budget must be approved. So yeah, it's no further discussion.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Cross?
I thought we had discussed that it would be the beginning of March, not the end of March. Am I wrong?
Honestly, I only remember March.
Yeah, I thought we had said the first meeting in the month of March for it to be done. Cindy?
Yes, Cindy.
Yes, you're absolutely correct that there was discussion about that, but further discussion led to, everybody felt it was the end of March. I had in my notes March 31st. If council wants it amended again, we can change it. It'll just have to come back to another council meeting, that's all.
Okay, so I'll put that out to everyone. Do you want to amend it and come back, next time with, March the 1st, being the date? Councillor Brooker.
If that's everyone's decision, based on, my memory of what we were talking about, yes.
Councillor Castelline?
I would say leave it as it is, 31st of March.
Okay, Councillor Cross?
My question to Cindy is, do you think that's too much time? That it would take that long to approve the budget? Should it be done sooner, or is the end of March fine?
I think the end of March is fine because for a brand new council, there's no guarantee that the council members will be, have experience with making a budget. So I don't think it's inappropriate to allow 3 months for them, approximately 3 to 4 months for them to go over the budget. It can be passed sooner than that. It just has to be passed by March 31st.
Okay, all right, I'm fine with it then, the way it is.
Councillor Shipham?
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. Okay, so that's discussion. I'm going to call for a vote on the second reading to move ahead as written, being the end of March. Councillor Brooker, are you in favor, yes or no?
Yes.
Councillor Castelline?
Yes.
Councillor Cross?
Yes.
Councillor Shipham?
Yes.
I'm in favor as well. So we'll need a mover and a seconder for the third reading. So Councillor Brooker, can you move the third reading, please?
Yes, I will.
And Councillor Cross, can you second it, please?
Yes.
Okay, so we have the third reading of this bylaw, moved by Councillor Brooker, second by Councillor Cross. Any further discussion on the third reading? Councillor Brooker?
No discussion.
Councillor Castelline?
No, that's all I had.
Councillor Cross?
No, that's good.
And Councillor Shipham?
No, nothing.
Okay, so I'm going to call for a vote to accept the third reading. Are you in favor of accepting a third reading as is, Councillor Brooker?
Yes, I am.
Councillor Castelline?
Yes.
Councillor Cross?
Yes.
And Councillor Shipham?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. So this bylaw number 2022-011 is carried, and it shall be signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and be engrossed in the bylaw book. Thank you, everyone. Next item on the agenda is bylaw 2022-012, and it's a landfill site agreement between Algonquin Provincial Park at Chios Access. It's a 3-year plus 3-month renewal. We discussed this at our last council meeting. So tonight we have the third reading. So I'm going to need a mover and a seconder for the third reading for this bylaw. Councillor Cross, can you move this one, please?
Yes, I can.
And Councillor Shipham, can you second it, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. So this is the third reading of a bylaw to enter into the agreement between the Corporation and Municipality of Calvin and the Algonquin Provincial Park Access at Chios. Any discussion on this? Councillor Brooker?
No discussion.
Councillor Castelline?
No discussion.
Councillor Cross?
No discussion.
No discussion.
Okay. I'm going to call for a vote on this reading then, third reading. Councillor Brooker, do you vote to accept the third reading, yes or no?
Yes, I do.
Councillor Castellan?
Yes, I do.
Councillor Cross?
Yes, I do.
Councillor Shipham?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. So this bylaw has been read a third time and passed on number 2022-012, and that the bylaw will be signed by the mayor and the clerk, sealed to seal the corporation, and be engrossed in the bylaw book. Thank you very much, everyone. Excuse me. Next item is item E, and it's bylaw number 2022-013. And it's a landfill site agreement for Samuel de Champlain Provincial Park, and it's a 3-year renewal. And this will also be the third reading tonight. So I'll need a mover and a seconder for this one, please. So Councillor Castellan, can you move this one, please?
Yes, I can.
And Councillor Brooker, can you second it, please?
Yes, I will.
Okay, so this is the third reading of this bylaw to enter the agreement with Samuel de Champlain and the municipality. Any further discussion on this one, Councillor Brooker?
No discussion.
Councillor Castellan?
Nothing further. No, thank you.
Councillor Cross?
No, nothing.
And Councillor Shipham?
No discussion.
Okay, so I'm going to call for a vote on the third reading to accept this bylaw. Councillor Brooker, do you vote yes or no to accept the third reading on this bylaw?
Yes.
Councillor Castellan?
Yes.
Councillor Cross?
Yes.
And Councillor Shipham?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. So this bylaw number 2022-013 has carried, and that this bylaw will be signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed to seal the corporation, and be engrossed in the bylaw book. Thank you very much, everyone. Next item on the agenda is item F, and it's a bylaw number 2022-014, and it's a landfill site agreement between the Canadian Ecology Centre and the municipality, and it's a 3-year renewal. So this is also a third reading tonight, and I'll need a mover and a seconder for this. Councillor Brooker, can you move this one, please?
Yes, I will.
Councillor Cross, can you second it, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. So this is third reading of this bylaw for an agreement between Municipality of Calvin and the Ecology Centre. Is there any further discussion on this evening, Councillor Brooker?
No discussion.
Councillor Castellan?
No, no discussion.
Councillor Cross?
No.
Councillor Shipham?
No discussion.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to call for a vote on the third reading to move ahead with carrying, passing the third reading and carrying the bylaw. Councillor Brooker, do you vote to proceed with the third reading and agree with it? Yes or no?
Yes, yes, I do.
Thank you. Councillor Castellan, do you
Yes.
agree with the third reading? Councillor Cross
Yes.
and Councillor Shipham?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. So this bylaw number 2022-014 is a bylaw that is signed, it's been carried, and it will be signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed to seal the corporation, and be engrossed in the bylaw book. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is item G, and it's the bylaw number 2022-015. And it's an agreement with the Township of Bonfield for wildlife damage compensation investigators. This is also the third reading. So I'll need a mover and a seconder for this one as well. So Councillor Shipman, can you move this one, please?
Yes, I can.
And Councillor Castelline, can you second it, please?
Yes.
Thank you. So we had some discussion on this at our last meeting. Is there any further discussion on the third reading tonight? Councillor Brooker?
No discussion.
Councillor Castelline?
No further discussion. No, thank you.
Councillor Cross?
No discussion.
And Councillor Shipham?
No discussion.
Okay, so I'm going to bring this third reading to a vote. Councillor Brooker, do you vote to proceed and approve the third reading? Yes or
Yes,
no?
I do.
Councillor Castelline?
Yes.
Councillor Cross?
Yes.
And Councillor Shipham?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. So this bylaw number 2022-015 is carried. It will be signed by the mayor and the clerk, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and engrossed in the bylaw book. Thank you very much, everyone. Next item on the agenda is item H, and it's a joint election audit committee bylaw. And it's bylaw number 2022-016. And this is also a third reading tonight on this bylaw. So I'll need a mover and a seconder for this one. Councillor Castelline, can you move this one, please?
Yes, I can.
And Councillor Brooker, can you second it, please?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. What that was, but did I just hear that, or did everybody hear that?
Yeah, I heard it too.
I heard it.
I heard it.
I think it was a sick cat or something. Anyway, this is a bylaw to authorize the establishment of the Joint Election Compliance Audit Committee and to appoint its committee members for the 2022 municipal election. And we spoke about this at our last meeting as well. Any further discussion on this, Councillor Brooker?
No discussion.
Councillor Castelline?
No discussion, just it's a long way out still, but what if we still don't have a municipal clerk at that time?
We'll have to look at this again.
So it has to be revised, but at the moment, no further discussion. Just a fleeting thought.
Yes, I know. Councillor Cross, any further discussion?
No discussion.
Councillor Shipham?
No discussion.
Okay, so I'm going to call for a vote on this third reading for the Election Audit Committee. Councillor Brooker, do you vote to proceed, yes or no?
Yes.
Councillor Castelline?
Yes.
Councillor Cross?
Yes.
Councillor Shipham?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. So this bylaw is carried. It'll be number 22-016. It'll be signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and engrossed in the bylaw book. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is was brought forth by Councillor Brooker at our last meeting, and it was to discuss the possibility of a town hall for public input. So we have a resolution in front of us. We'll need a mover and a seconder for it. Councillor Shipman, can you move this one, please?
Yes, I can.
And Councillor Cross, can you second it, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. So we have this resolution moved by Councillor Shipman and seconded by Councillor Cross, that Council hereby approves the planning of a town hall for the spring of 2022 in accordance with the public health regulations, with members of Council to meet with community members in a forum that brings forward collective ideas and thoughts for the betterment of the municipality of Calvin. Any discussion on this, Councillor Brooker?
Other than I think it's a positive idea that could bring, well, for myself, I don't know a lot of the community in Kelvin yet. They don't know me. But also for the rest of you, where due to COVID, we've been kind of staying away from people, and with the probable lifting of restrictions very shortly, it would be really nice to have a public forum where we could, with guidelines, bring forward ideas and get to know what the community would like and hear their thoughts. So I have no further discussion other than that.
All right, thank you. Councillor Castelline?
No, I fully agree with planning something like an event like this. It would be nice to reacquaint ourselves with the people that populate this community, and it is difficult to go out and visit people with the current COVID restrictions and because of winter time. And if we can somehow get together in an amicable way, then yes, I certainly would love to be part of that.
Okay, thank you. Ross?
I don't think there's much to add towards that. I agree with everything that's been said. It'll be nice to, see our neighbors and see the rest of the people and hear what they have to say and how they've been doing through all of this, and to start planning for forward thinking and good things to happen in the future.
Any discussion? Councillor Shipham?
No, I'm good with what everybody else has said. I agree.
Okay. So I'm going to call a vote on this resolution. And the vote will be to move ahead with the planning of a town hall in the spring of 2022. And we'll set a date at a later time, I would think. So are you in favor of this resolution, Councillor Brooker?
Yes, I am.
Councillor Castelline?
Yes, I am.
Councillor Cross?
Yes.
Councillor Shipham?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes as well. So this resolution is carried. Next item on the agenda is Municipal Kelvin Administration. It's the borrowing limit for a municipal Visa credit card. We've come up against some problems lately where items need to be purchased, and we did not have a credit card to do so. And individuals were using their personal card to do that, and I didn't feel that it was right, so I asked the Cindy, our clerk treasurer, to investigate the possibility of getting a card for the office. And in the past, we weren't allowed to do that, but things have changed over the last couple of years, and we are allowed to do that. So I'll need a mover and a seconder to I'll move ahead with this resolution. So Councillor Cross, can you move this one, please?
Yes, I can.
And Councillor Castelline, can you second it, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so we have this resolution moved by Councillor Cross, seconded by Councillor Castelline, that council hereby approves the borrowing limit of up to $25,000 minimum credit limit for the new corporate Visa credit card that will be used only by the municipal administrator. Any discussion? Councillor Brooker.
No discussion.
Councillor Castelline.
No discussion.
Councillor Cross.
Will the application be made after the position has been filled, or has the process already started?
Yes, Cindy?
I have the paperwork, but I was waiting for this to be approved. In order to send it back in, we have to have a resolution of council. It can wait until the new municipal administrator. I have told the bank that tomorrow is my last day and they're not to put my name on it. So it can wait until the new municipal administrator, or I can get the ball rolling and they can just put a hold on it until a new municipal administrator has been appointed, before they actually finalize the card. It takes approximately 6 weeks right now because of COVID and the backlog and the shortage of staff and things like that. It takes approximately 6 weeks for it to even, go through the process of beginning to get approved. So that's why I figured I would put it as far as I could, but our bank associate is fully aware that my name is not to go on it.
My second question is, does it need to be that 25,000? That seems to be a little high for a credit card.
It's a corporate credit card, and that's why I put that it's the minimum allowed. It's the minimum credit limit for a corporate credit card. You can't have a lower limit. That's why they stipulate that it has to be $25,000. Doesn't mean that it has to be used like that. That's that should be up to the municipal administrator or the treasurer.
Anything further, Councillor Croft?
I just start getting a little, it's going to be a new person. We don't know. It's $25,000 and it's going to have her name on it. So I just have a little red flag that kind of goes up when I start hearing those things. So I guess we'll see how it plays out.
Mayor Pennell?
Oh, yes, Cindy.
You can leave it the way it is, and I won't submit the application. We can just keep this resolution until you're comfortable with it, so we don't have to process it at all. But just bear in mind that that means the new person will have to use their personal credit card for any charges that are required. So, for instance, something as simple as Zoom subscription. All of that stuff was going on to my personal credit card. I would expense it back, obviously, but that's where this discussion began.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Shippen.
Because it's a corporate card, I'm not understanding why a person's name is on it. Can it not just say, like municipality of Township of Calvin, and you have authorized people that are allowed to sign on it?
I don't think specifically somebody's name is on it. I've just made it abundantly clear that my name should not be on it. I believe you're correct,
Okay.
but I've not actually seen a card, so I
Okay.
can't 100% answer that question.
Yeah, it's just because all the fleet cards and everything that I've seen they don't have anybody's name on it. They have the company name or whatever, but not a person's name. And would we not be able to, granted, it's a borrowing limit of up to $25,000, but would we not be able to limit the amount spent on the card by the person that has it?
You can develop a policy. Council can develop a policy on how and when and how much and
For
all
what
that type
purpose
of
and all that
how
stuff?
the credit card is used. You
Okay.
can develop a policy in that regard.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a corporate card, and my name is on the card. I have to approve my payments like twice a month at least. I get a statement by email and I have to approve them. The reason why I asked Cindy to move ahead with this was she was going to have to renew our Zoom application or license or application or whatever. And she told me she was going to put it on her credit card, and she had been putting a lot of stuff on her credit card over the last few years. And I didn't think that was right, that someone should have to, use their credit card in order for the municipality to do municipal business. So that's why I asked her to proceed with that. I think that we should move ahead with, obtaining the card and ask the, like as Cindy mentioned, ask the bank to hold it, until, we do appoint, our new administrator. And at that time, then we can move ahead with having that card assigned to her. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So there's been some discussion on this. So the resolution is as it is. Okay, so we can. Well, I'm going to call a vote on it. We can either proceed with it or not. Okay, that'll be up to the majority of council. And if we decide to do something differently, then we'll, excuse me, have to ask it to be brought back at a future meeting, worded differently or with different rules. Okay?
Excuse me, before we do the vote, could I have one more point of discussion about it?
Sure.
Thank you. I think it's a lot to ask a new person. It's a lot to have asked of Cindy, but a brand new person coming in and having them have to put certain payments like this on their personal credit card, I think that's an awful lot to ask. And if we're hiring someone that we trust to look after our municipality, you know, obviously we're going to have to trust them in many other departments. So having the card, in my personal opinion, makes sense. So that's my discussion.
Anything further?
Also, I think it is not good to have personal business and business interests mixed. It leaves the field open for mistakes, and that is never a good thing. When I was carrying corporate credit cards, I accidentally put a personal expense on it at one time, and it was totally innocent, but it wasn't right, and it should have been avoided, and it must be avoided at all times.
Okay, so
the same thing goes, of course, with personal credit cards. You cannot put business on a personal credit card. That is out of the question, also, in my opinion.
All right. I'm going to call for a vote on this resolution. I'm going to call for a vote to the way it is written, and then we can go from there afterwards. Councillor Brooker, are you in favor of this resolution the way it is written? Yes or no?
Yes, I am.
Councillor Castelline?
Yes, I am.
Councillor Cross?
Yes.
Councillor Shipham?
Yes.
I'm in favor as well. So this resolution is carried. So I think from what I understand, you will tell the bank to put a hold on it until we have someone in place, Cindy?
That's correct.
Thank you. Okay. Next item on the agenda is item K. And it's concerning a form of guarantee that was provided to us by the City of North Bay, because they're kind of looking after or helping us manage the form of guarantee with Infrastructure Ontario. And I believe Cindy has a report she's going to provide to us on that.
As Mayor Pennell indicated, from the City of North Bay, we received a document, the form of guarantee, which is with Infrastructure Ontario for the funding for the Castle Home redevelopment project. It was encouraged by the city of North Bay for us to all get, all being the 9 municipalities, well, I guess it would be 8, not including them, to get our own legal opinion. So I sent the document off to our solicitor and requested an opinion. I just received the opinion actually back this morning around 11:30 or so. They do have a few questions. They have pointed out a few things. At the time that I submitted the information to them, we did not have a financial agreement or a copy of the financial agreement. So there are a few of the questions that are in regards to financial agreement, which is referenced in the IO document. I have since received a copy of that financial agreement and have forwarded on to the solicitor for their comment as well. Pardon me. There are a few other clauses that he would just like further clarification on because they're a little bit broad in that regard. So I have submitted, IO has requested that all of the questions that we have in regards to the agreement go to one solicitor through the city of North Bay. So I've submitted the questions that we have to the lawyer for the city of North Bay so that they can discuss it with IO. This is so that IO is avoiding, IO stands for Infrastructure Ontario. So IO is avoiding having 9 different municipalities asking them a million different questions about and you know, there could be duplication, et cetera, et cetera. So I've submitted the questions that our solicitor had, and I'm waiting for a response. I have asked for them to get the information back to us as soon as possible. I indicated tomorrow or possibly Tuesday, because the city of North Bay would also like to get this wrapped up and moving forward, hopefully by the end of the month. If not the end of the month, then, you know, at least sometime in March, preferably the earlier the better kind of thing. So that's sort of an update on where we're at with that. We have received this document. It has been sent to the solicitor. We're waiting for the answers back from IO in regards to our questions. They've been submitted. We do now have a copy of the financial agreement, and that has been sent to our solicitor for his comment as well. So we are moving forward with this. Hopefully it can be moved even further along in the very near future.
Okay, thanks, Cindy. I wrote a letter to Minister Calandra. He's the Minister of Long-Term Care. And I made him aware of a municipality of Calvin's financial situation and things that could happen to us that would affect our CBA and our weighted assessment. And I've asked him to reconsider the weighted assessment. I also went through the census that we received a copy of just last week, I believe. Maybe it was even this week. And I recalculated out the payments using a per capita basis rather than a weighted assessment. And it would definitely be in our favor as well as quite a few other municipalities' favors. Then I sent a letter to Mayor Corriveau, okay, who is our representative on the Castle Board of Management, and I provided him with very similar information to what is in this letter, and I asked him to support us by going to the Board of Management and asking them to support my request to Minister Calandra to change that funding process from a weighted assessment to a per capita basis. Then this morning I sent an email to MPP Fideli because he is our representative, just to make him aware of what I had done so that he didn't get blindsided by it. Okay? So just want to make the municipality aware of what we've been doing, okay? So thank you for that opportunity. So the next item on the agenda is information letters. Are there any information letters in there that is of interest to anyone? Councillor Brooker?
They were all of interest, but I have no discussion on them.
Okay. Councillor Castelline?
Just a remark on item G, and it is good to see that at least the health unit is using the per capita levy calculation. So I know that it has always been like that, but at least there is a precedent. Let me put it this way. And secondly, I'm referring to the letter of the AMO that we received this morning. And where it says regarding federal matters, they make available quite a sizable grant for rural transit solutions. Now, I know that Kelvin is really, really small, and we have no possibility to set up a transit system. But is it possible for us to combine with Mattawa, Matawan, Papineau-Cameron, and Bonfield to apply for part of the grant together? Maybe that will peel some dollars loose for a transit ID between North Bay and Mattawa, where we can, as Kelvinites, can possibly hop on a minibus or something. So I was wondering if we should investigate that possibility between the 5 municipalities.
That might be a good idea. I know Brownsway, is it Brownsway? They tried to do it a couple of years ago, and I'm not quite sure why they quit. Maybe it wasn't profitable for them, but I'm not sure. It might be worth investigating, though. So we would have to have someone poll the surrounding municipalities, Bonfield, Papineau-Cameron, Mattawa, to see if there was any interest there in applying for that grant in order to provide that service, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking, Councillor Castelline?
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Okay. I know your time with us is very short, Cindy, but we'll have to put that on our list, I think, for our next individual. All right. Anything else in the information letters?
No, nothing else. No.
Councillor Cross?
Actually, Bart kind of hit on what I was going to mention with the health unit, and notice that there's a 3.28% raise in the levy. Just wanted to say that I read your letter that you wrote to in support of us having the minister look at changing the way the calculation is done for the long-term loan for Castleholm. It was an excellent letter, and just wanted to also say that maybe we should have it put on the next agenda, so in information letter, so that the residents could see it as well, because it was a very good letter. You were very articulate. Also to thank Richard for his continued support of, putting pressure on for the Castleholm. But otherwise, there was really nothing else in there. Thank you.
Councillor Shipman, was there anything in the letters that interested you?
No.
Okay. All right, so we'll move on then. Next item on the agenda is item number 8, and it's information letters available. I don't believe there are any this evening. After that is item number 11, and it's a closed portion. Excuse me. So I'm going to read what we have here. This special closed meeting was called by Mayor Pennell to, under the Municipal Act 2001, Chapter 25, as per Section 239 2B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including a municipal or local board employee, and 2D, labor relations or employee negotiations, re municipal administrator position, and Section 239 2E, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality and local boards, re Stewart's Road. So I should have a mover and a seconder for this resolution to go into the closed portion of the meeting. So Councillor Brooker, can you move this one, please?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. And Councillor Shipman, can you second it, please?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. Any discussion? Councillor Brooker, to move into the closed portion.
No discussion.
Councillor Castelline,
No discussion.
Councillor Cross,
No discussion.
Councillor Shipman.
No discussion.
Okay, so I'm going to call for a vote. Are you in favor of moving into a closed session at this time, Councillor Brooker?
Yes, I am.
Councillor Castelline,
Yes, I am.
Councillor Cross,
Yes.
and Councillor Shipman.
Yes.
And I am as well. Thank you very much. So we'll need to turn off our streaming.
I'm going to pass the hosting capabilities to
Okay.
Cindy.
Okay, thank you, Alicia.